Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Chad Valner, health vlog number 2, and I'm going to be talking today about how you can transition into the raw food diet. I'm going to be giving you 5 tips to tell you how to do that. Now, transitioning to the raw food diet can be difficult. It really depends on where you are at your level. If you're coming right off a standard American diet, it's going to be a little difficult. So that's why I suggest taking small steps. And I'm going to be talking about that as I make an avocado smoothie, one of my famous avocado cacao smoothies. So I'm going to grab this blender right here and I'm going to make that smoothie at the same time I'm going to talk to you. Now, one of the reasons I'm making this video is because I had a question from a recent viewer who watched one of my other videos and asked, how do I transition into a raw food diet? So it is very difficult, and I am talking to someone right now. Her name is Nicole, and we're hanging out, and she's eating a standard American diet, and she's asked me the same thing. How do I transition into being a raw foodist? And the thing that you have to understand, and I'm going to make a video on this, or a video might be out already on my channel, depending on when you watch this. It's not that easy being on a raw food diet. The benefits are absolutely tremendous. The benefits are that you're going to feel better than you've ever felt in your life. You're going to have almost unlimited energy. You're going to sleep well, better than you ever have. You're going to have no problems with digestion. Digestion is going to be super easy. So you're going to be able to throw away those medications. The aches and pains that you experience are going to melt away, and generally you're going to feel on top of the world. Now, those are the benefits. The drawbacks are when you go on a raw food diet, you're going to have to go to the supermarket quite often. You're going to have to spend a lot of money. You're going to have to spend time preparing the food, eating the food. Sometimes I spend up to 4 hours a day buying, making, and eating food. Have you ever seen a carnivore, not a carnivore, but have you ever seen an herbivore? Carnivores, they kind of eat quickly. Herbivores, kind of like a cow or a horse or an elephant, they have to graze and they end up eating all day long. And it's, we don't say we eat all day long on this diet, but I'm a pretty active guy and I'm spending 4 hours a day. So if you don't have 4 hours a day to devote to eating or preparing your food, then it's going to be a little difficult for you. However, if you're not very active and you like a couch potato and sit around, you could probably get away with a couple of hours. You're going to need some time to sit down and eat fruit. It takes time to eat a mango. It takes you, good 10 minutes to eat a big mango. Whereas you could grab a bag of Cheetos or have a few cookies in a minute or two. So you have to really, before you even try to transition onto this diet, understand that it is a difficult diet, or I call diet, but lifestyle to go on. Because if you try to transition and you realize these things, you may become discouraged. So before you even begin transitioning, realize that. Now let's get back to this. So let's say that you're okay with all those things. And you say, you know what, I want great health, I want great sleep, I want great digestion, I don't want to take medication, I don't like this pain anymore, I want to go on the raw food diet. Now, here's the thing about the raw food that people don't understand. People think it's some type of fad, or it's something that's really weird. But if you look at the 9,000 other species on the planet, and I'm talking fish, mammals, reptiles, birds, any type of land animal, sea creature, insect, doesn't matter. All of these animals are eating their food raw. And when I first thought about that, excuse me for a second here. I know that looks disgusting, but the mouse can come in very handy as a tool, and it's just me here. So I just put an avocado in this blender, a full avocado, and now I'm going to put some distilled water in. So all of these creatures are eating their food completely raw, And this one guy that I had followed for a while, I still follow him, Dr. Doug Graham. He wrote a really cool book. It's kind of like one of the books that most raw foodists come to at one time or another. It's called 80-10-10, It's the principle that you should eat at least 80% of your calories, or optimally 80% of your calories come from carbs. Not the carbs from bread or cookies or pasta, but from fruits and veggies. 10% of your calories should come from fat, and 10% of your calories should come from protein. And that's the optimal range, he believes. And if you eat just raw fruits and vegetables, you will fall into that range, or right about that range. Most people are far out of that range on the standard American diet, where their fat could be as high as 50%. Anyway, he said no baby is ever born with a stove on its back. And I thought that was a cute saying. It's true. No animal is born with a stove either. And no animal has ever used a stove. So why is it that we as humans think that we can break the laws of nature and cook our food? I mean, think about it. What does something look like after it's cooked or burnt? It's charred. It looks nothing like it did when it was alive. It's dead. And so when you eat something that's dead, what do you think is going to happen in your body? You know, one of my favorite sayings from Deepak Chopra, he said that every seed is something like, in every seed is the promise of 1,000 forests and more. And I thought that was a beautiful saying. When you plant a seed, or when you plant an acorn, you can get life out of that. Well, what happens when you plant something that's dead? If you put like a bone or a dead carcass in the ground, nothing. Right? If anything, it's going to decompose and bugs are going to eat it. It's really amazing. When you eat life, it begets life. You are life. And that's why I stay on the raw food diet. So anyway, let's get back to transitioning. So as you transition, I don't believe you should take really big steps initially. Most people that are watching this are probably in the range of coming off a standard American diet, and they want to know, okay, how do I transition into this raw food diet? The best way to do that, take small steps. Don't try to change your whole diet. Just add a few salads. Here's what you do, right? Eat the same way you normally eat, but instead of eating one meal, let's say you eat 3 meals a day, make one of those a salad, or even add a salad to that meal. And that way, by eating more of the good stuff, you're going to eat less of the bad stuff. But to try to do it all at once is going to be incredibly difficult. So I would suggest adding at least a small salad to your daily diet. Every day, try to eat a small salad. Every day, try to eat at least one piece of fruit. If you're not eating any fruit now, try to eat at least one piece of fruit. And then scale it up. Scale it up to 2 pieces of fruit, 3 pieces of fruit. Maybe have 2 salads a day. You keep going in baby steps. That's a really good way to transition to this diet. Okay, so I have my water, I have my avocado. I'm going to put a little bit of this peanut butter. I came across this peanut butter, and I don't eat nuts. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with nuts as long as you soak them to deactivate the enzymes. But here, I'm breaking protocol a little bit. I got this from Publix. It's called Teddy. I don't know if you can see that. I really like the brand because it's unsalted, and very rarely you could find peanut butter that's completely unsalted. It has 0 sodium, and as I talk about in some of my other videos, I think sodium's the devil. And basically this is non-homogenized, no preservatives. It's vegan, gluten-free, and USA grown, and non-GMO. And this was like $2.99. So I was like, okay, that's a steal. So what I'm doing is here, I'm putting this peanut butter in my smoothie, just to add a little bit of flavor, get a little bit of fat, which, is something I'm doing that I didn't do before, but, I feel okay with it. I have, as I told you in other videos, I have rheumatoid arthritis and psoriasis and stuff like that. So if I could enter a food that's vegan into my diet, I know this is not raw, technically raw, because it's a dry roasted peanut, but if I could enter something like this into my diet and get some more calories and get some taste, I'm okay with it. But everything else I eat is raw, maybe with the exception of powder. I don't know if powder is actually cooked. I don't think it is. But this is organic maca powder, which is good for libido and energy. And this is a root vegetable that comes from Peru, I believe, or somewhere down in South America. And this is cocoa or cacao. So what I do is I put these 2 in with that, and I sweeten it up. If you just eat it drink it like this, it's going to be a little bitter, so has no taste. So I put a little stevia in. Yeah, no, these are all the processed things I eat. Everything else, there's nothing processed. It's all salads and fruits. But the smoothies, since I'm on the tennis court all day long pretty much, I'm teaching and I'm playing and I'm at the gym, I need the extra calories. That's why I go for these. It's very convenient. I can drink it up quickly. And again, the base, I only use distilled water. Okay, so another way to transition into the raw food diet is to start making healthy smoothies. Because when you make these healthy smoothies, what you're doing is giving yourself calories. You're not going to be as hungry and you're not going to be as thirsty, so you're not going to go for the usual bad stuff that you usually eat. And you can add one of these. The best time might even be the beginning of the day, where you can you wake up sometimes dehydrated, especially if you're on a cooked food diet. You wake up, you're craving a drink, and why not make a smoothie? And if you're looking to lose weight, if you're transitioning to a raw food diet to lose some weight, I'm putting a little stevia in, by the way. This is organic stevia extract powder. And if you're looking to sweeten your food, if you don't know about stevia, some people don't know about it. You can see it right there, stevia extract. I don't know if you can see that, but this is supposed to be like 50 times sweeter than sugar. So you just need a little bit of it, and it really sweetens it up. Now, the honey that I usually buy, and I know people are going to say I'm not a true vegan because I'm not a true vegan because I'm eating honey. Well, screw that. Insects, they're not animals to me. YS Organic Bee Farms. I love this honey here. It's expensive. It's like almost $20, but it's organic. It's raw. I love raw honey, right? So that's another thing too, right? If you're eating honey, you could eat cooked honey or you could eat raw honey. So why not have the raw honey, especially if you're trying to go raw? This is natural, pure, healthy, safe, harvested with extreme care, unpasteurized, fresh, raw state, unfiltered. Now, unfortunately, I'm out of that, so I had to go to Publix and get this raw creamed honey, this is just like my fill-in, okay, when that one is out of stock. So that's not out of stock, it's out of stock in my place, but I have to go to Whole Foods to go get it, which I will do tomorrow. Today I can't do it. So I go get this stuff. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of honey into my smoothie to sweeten it with the stevia. And you don't want it to really be too sweet. You want it to be just sweet enough to give it some taste. And that way you're going to eat your smoothie. Now, if you're looking to lose weight, I would suggest putting some protein powder into the smoothie as well. I'm not doing that here. I typically don't. But when I do, I typically use, I say that I'm using that typical all the time. I usually use 100% pure organic hemp protein powder. Now, I don't think I have any left. I used it all. I have to get some tomorrow at Whole Foods. That's where I buy it. You could buy it on Amazon too because they're associated. Amazon owns Whole Foods now. So you could put like a couple of tablespoons of that hemp seed, and that's the best protein you can use. Why? Because hemp is healthy, it's vegan, it has nothing else in it. A lot of these other proteins, I'll show you. For example, at one time I tried this organic meal, raw organic meal replacement, and if you look on the back, you'll see it does have a lot of good ingredients, but the things about these is that a lot of times they're putting in some unnatural things in them. And even though it says vegan, gluten-free, made without dairy or soy or stuff like that, I've tried stuff like this, and I'm not talking about just this brand, which is the Garden of Life. It's a good brand, but I'm talking about the other ones too. They all happen to put in something in there, which I think is some type of natural flavor, some type of chemical that really disrupts my system. And I end up feeling pain from it. And I may use it for a few days and I'm okay, and then I have these incredible pains and I have to stop it. And once I cut it out, the pains go away. I know they're putting something in there because when you drink it, it tastes so good. So they have to be putting something in there to make it taste that good. And then when you have like the 100% pure hemp protein, there's no taste in it. It's kind of like, whoa, neighbor's talking. That scared me for a second. I got a neighbor who's really loud, okay? So if you hear him, that's him. Anyway, so if you do the 100% pure hemp protein, you're not getting anything except the hemp, and it didn't cause me any issues. So that's what I would recommend if you want to transition to the raw vegan diet. Go ahead, make yourself a smoothie in the morning, put only good ingredients in, and the protein should help you curb your appetite for the rest of the day. Okay, what am I missing here? I don't think I put this stuff in. Okay, so all this talking, right? Let me grab a spoon over here. You like this setup? You like this setup, by the way? I got the camera here. I got the natural light. Anyway, I'm putting in cacao or cocoa powder. It's really the same thing. Cacao, C-A-C-A-O. So if you go to the store, look for cacao. Now, if you go to like your regular supermarket, they won't carry it, so you have to get the cocoa. But if you go to Whole Foods, they'll have cacao. But it all comes from the cacao bean. Cacao. And it's basically a bean, and they turn that into a powder. And yes, it's processed, but I mean, we can't. If I just went around, I could actually go around just eating fruits and veggies. But if I did, I wouldn't. There's nothing wrong with that. I can definitely do that. But the main issue for me is that I need more energy, more calories, and I also like to stay hydrated, and the smoothies do it for me. And they're kind of tasty, and they're a quick way. Like for instance, it's already, the time today is already 1:11 here, and I have not eaten today. I've had one of these smoothies in the morning, and I'm making a second one now. I'm only going to eat when I feel hungry. That's another way to help you transition to the raw vegan diet or the raw food lifestyle, is only eat when you're hungry. A lot of times people think they're hungry, but they're actually thirsty. In that case, it's always good to drink water. And that brings me to my third or fourth way, depending on how you look at this, to transition to the raw vegan diet or raw food diet, which is just drink water. Just drink distilled water. Okay, let me make sure I have everything in there. Yeah, okay. So what I'm gonna do is put the cap on and blend that up. And by the way, this is, if you can see this, this is the Vitamix blender. And I bought this 12 years ago, still operates beautifully. This is a $435 blender. Totally unnecessary, you don't need it. I'm going to blend. And also, when you do this, when you blend, you can buy a $100 blender and do this. You don't need the $435 blender. I bought this because when you're on the raw food lifestyle, you're pretty much going to be, sometimes like me, using the blender all the time. So you want to just get the very best. Screw it, if you have the money. If you don't have the money, you don't need to spend that money. All right, where's my cup? Okay. All right. Let's see how this tastes. If it's not sweet enough, you just put some more stevia in or more honey. Sometimes I like putting ice in. Now, when it comes to the ice, a little tip like here, and I mentioned this in other videos. You know what I love? When it's not too sweet, it's just sweet enough, not too sweet. Perfect. All right, nice and thick. Ice is not done yet. So here, I know these are bad. I need to order better trays than this. I had really good trays, and I gave them to somebody. So I poured my distilled water in here, and I just put it in the freezer. So it's really important that your ice only comes from distilled water, because if you're drinking tap water or other types of water, that don't think that you could cut corners on when you're trying to eliminate toxins and become healthy. It's not good enough to think that, hey, I ate a salad today, or I'm proud of myself, I ate a piece of fruit. Yeah, be proud, but also understand that all the bad stuff that you're putting in is having a huge effect. It's kind of like if you took your car to the gas station and you put in 90% of the gas was the best fuel, right? The 94, whatever, high octane. And then 10% you threw in sugar and crap into the tank, what's going to happen, right? Well, the engine's going to malfunction. It's the same thing with your body. All right, so that brings me to point number 5, which is don't get discouraged when you transition, because what could happen is this. There's a couple of things that could happen. One is you could start transitioning. Let's say you add a salad and you add a smoothie and you eat a piece of fruit, in addition to eating the bad stuff that you're eating now. And then you're saying to yourself, you know what? I really don't feel much better. I kind of feel the same. I'm still having the same aches and pains. I still have indigestion. I still don't sleep well. And yet, look, I'm adding a salad. I'm putting in the effort. I'm having the smoothie Chad told me to have. You know, I even eat a piece of fruit every day. Why is this happening? It's happening because you're still eating bad stuff. You got to cut. I mean, I'm talking about. That's why I'm extreme. And another thing Doug Graham says, he goes, people talk about moderation. Do everything in moderation. Yeah, you know, it's good to do certain things in moderation, but you don't do your drive-by shootings in moderation, do you? Right? Same thing with food. It's hard to do it in moderation. It's hard to poison yourself in moderation. And that's what you're doing when you're eating those cooked foods. You're poisoning yourself. Don't kid yourself. All right? Don't be in. A lot of people are in denial. They don't want to think they are. When you go to eat your pizza, dude, food's a drug. I know it. You know it. I'm going to make you aware of that over and over. I'm going to give you the motivation and inspiration to not poison yourself anymore. Love yourself. Give yourself the best you can. That's raw fruits and vegetables, sprouts, mushrooms. Come on. All right. So that's why you may not feel. You might say, "Hey, I'm on this. I'm eating a lot of raw stuff now, and I'm still not feeling good. It's not working for me." Well, that's why you're still putting poisons into your system. Now, in the other extreme case, some of you have a lot of discipline, and you may just go full throttle, boom, like me, almost 100% raw foodist. You're eating your salads, having your fruits, and then you start to not feel well, and you're feeling really, really bad. I mean, really, really bad. Like, you know, you have headaches, you're nauseous, you don't sleep well, all kinds of issues. And you're saying, you know what, man, this raw food thing doesn't work. You know what it is? It's that you're beginning to purge your body of toxins, and they're coming into your bloodstream, and what happens is you're going to feel really bad. That's another reason why you should slowly transition to the raw food lifestyle. If you go too quickly, if you fast, you're going to feel very uncomfortable. That's why when I transitioned, I made a very gradual transition into this lifestyle. If you go all out, you're definitely going to feel uncomfortable with the amount of toxicity in your blood. And that's what this lifestyle does, is it purges. Like when I went this way, I mean, I was feeling some pain. And also, another thing to keep in mind is that, you know, sometimes a fruit or a vegetable can have an adverse effect on you. And you might be saying, hey, I'm going all raw here, and I'm still having incredible pain in my foot, or, you know, wherever you're having it. And that happened to me recently. I was actually having a lot of pain in my foot, you know, with my arthritis, and I was eating perfectly. And I was saying to myself, what's the issue? Why is this happening? And then I learned that, you know, that the papayas that I was eating were actually genetically modified. So if you look at the label on a food, and I brought this up in previous videos. Let me see. Okay. I brought this up in previous videos, but I don't know if you can see this. This is an organic mango. And you see there's a number right there? It's right here. That number starts with a 9. That means the food's organic. Anytime the number starts with a 9, it's organic. You put this in the fridge. So I didn't even realize it, but the papayas, they started with the number 3. And then I saw a video, I think it was by Life Regenerator, and he was talking about how you should avoid any type of papaya that's not organic, which are hard to find actually, unless they grow in the trees locally. So basically, once I cut those papayas out, and also watermelon I noticed too was causing me problems. Like once I cut those two things out, like I was much better. And I know you're probably saying, wow, that you may not have that effect, that you may not feel those symptoms from eating a genetically modified produce, but I did, and my body's quite sensitive. And that's because of all the years of abuse that I did on my body by eating crap. And that was pretty much because my parents didn't know better. And so I had the school lunch system, and I had the milk and the ice cream and the cookies, and I was a carboholic, and I loved the sugar. And I basically aged my body so fast that I developed arthritis when I was like in my early to mid 20s. And if I could go back in time and change that, I definitely would. But I can't. So the only thing I can do right now is do my best to eat the best way I can, have a very low inflammation diet. Nothing really that I put in my food now is really something that's inflammatory. If anything, they're all anti-inflammatory. Another thing, just a real quick tip here. I tried this out at Whole Foods, not bad. It's called Mega Food Daily Turmeric, and I'll put the link in the description. But I've been using this as a supplement from time to time. Not recently though, because you'll find actually that once you go on this diet or this lifestyle, with this raw food lifestyle, a lot of the aches and pains that you experience, they're going to drop away. You're not going to feel the need to be on supplements. And I'm going to make another video talking about supplements, because there's a lot of debate both sides, whether it's good, whether it's bad to be on supplements. Okay, so here we are. We're getting to the end of the video. I don't want to keep you too long. I gotta go do some writing. It's one of the things I do to make money is I write. So there you have some tips on how to transition into this raw lifestyle, which is start slow, add smoothies, don't get discouraged, drink lots of water, drink only alkaline water, and try to spend some more time in the supermarket. Like if you're the type of person that only shops once a week, you got to get accustomed to going to the supermarket, because you want to buy fresh produce, and when you buy the fresh produce, you're going to be eating it within a day or two. Then you got to go back to the supermarket. I know people talk about going to Costco and buying like a barrel of produce, but that's really not practical, because you're not going to eat all that stuff in a day or 2 or 3 days, and then it goes bad and it's waste. So that's why I don't do like a Costco thing. I usually go to my local supermarket or my produce stands, and I just buy whatever's fresh. And I know when I buy that stuff, it's going to be gone within a day or 2. I actually just went last night with Nicole. We went to Publix. We actually videoed some of that. So I don't know if I'm going to put that footage in this video or not, but I got, what did I get for fruit? I got a $10 fruit cup. That's gone. I already ate a few plums. I had like a mango. I bought 2 organic mangoes. So basically they go pretty quickly. When you're on this type of diet, you're only eating the stuff. It's going to go quickly. So you got to go to the supermarket quite often. And keep watching my videos, because the more you watch, the more you'll learn. I'm always dropping nuggets of wisdom. And if you have any questions for me on how to transition to the raw food lifestyle, or how to eat a raw vegan diet, or any questions you have related to this, just drop them in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to answer them in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. And go out there, be a raw foodist, and let's create a community here. Let's be a group of people that can support each other in being raw vegans, and that help each other. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.